Act 1, Scene 2. The Pharaoh, a room in Villarezo's house. Enter Gaspar di Villarezo and a servant. Villarezo, what gallant sirrah are they newly entered? Servant, Count di Montenegro, my lord, and Don Velasco. Villarezo, give your observance then. I know their busyness. Exit servant. Catalina and Berenthia are the stars. Direct them hither. Gasparo's house shall give respect to all, but they are two such jewels. I must dispose maturely. I should also return in gratitude upon the heavens for leaving me such pledges, nor am I, like other fathers, carried with the stream. Of love to the youngest, as they were in birth, they had my tenderness, Catalina, then as eldest in my care, Berenthia, as a child's pursued, both fair and virtuous, but daughters are held losses to a family. Sons only maintain the honor and keep the stem alive in their posterity. And now I think on it, my son Sebastiano hath been slow in his return from Lisbon. Oh, that boy renews my age with hope, hath returned my care and education, weight for weight, with noble quality, well beloved by the best of the dons in Spain and Portugal, whose loves do often stretch his absence to such a length as this hath been. Enter Montenegro and Catalina. But here's my eldest daughter, with her amorous count. I'll not be seen. Exit. Catalina, you have been absent long, my noble count. Beshrew me, but I dreamt on you last night. Montenegro, ha, did you so? I tickle her in her sleep, I perceived. Sweet lady, I did, but like the valiant beast, give a little ground to return with a greater force of love. Now by my father's sword and gauntlet, thou art a precious piece of virtue. But prithee, what is dream of me last night? Catalina, nay, 'twas an idle dream, not worth the repetition. Montenegro, thou dreamest, I warrant thee, that I was fighting for thee up to the knees in blood. Why, I dare do it. Such dreams are common with the Count de Montenegro. My sleeps are nothing else but rehearsals of battle and wounds and emboscados. Donzel de Febo was a mountain bank of valor. Rosclera puff, my dreams deserve to be in the chronicles. No, sons only maintain the honor. The old copy says sons only to maintain honor. Instant. Catalina, why now my dream's out. Montenegro, what? Catalina, I dreamt that you were fighting. Montenegro, so? Catalina, and that in single combat, for my sake you slew a giant, and you no sooner had rescued my honor, but there crept a pygmy out of the earth and killed you. Montenegro, very likely the valiantest man must die. Catalina, what? By a pygmy. Montenegro, that's another giant. I remember Hercules had a conflict with him. Oh, my dawns, Catalina, while would I were so happy once to maintain some honorable duel for thy sake, I shall never be well till I have killed somebody in fight. 'Tis true, I have never yet fleshed myself in blood. Nobody will quarrel with me, but I find my spirit prompt, if occasion would but wink at me. Why not? Wherefore has nature given me these brawny arms, this manly bulk, and these Colossian supporters, for nothing but to sling the sledge or pitch the bar and play with axletrees. If thou lovest me, do but command me some worthy service, pox and dangers. I weigh them no more than flea bitings. Would somebody did hate that face now, I wish it with all my heart. Catalina, would you have anybody hate me? My neighbor, yes, I'd hate them. I but thrust my hand into their mouth down to the bottom of their bellies, pluck out their lungs, and shake their insides outward. Note, Hercules had a conflict with them. Montenegro had been reading Johnson's magnificent Masque of Pleasure Reconciled to Virtue. Enter Berenthia and Velasco at a distance. Berenthia, noble sir, you need not heap more protestations. Do you believe you love me? Valerosa, do you believe I love and not accept it? Berenthia, yes, I accept it too. But apprehend me, as men do gifts whose acceptations does not bind to perform what every giver craves. Without a stain to virgin modesty, I can accept your love, but pardon me, it is beyond my power to grant your suit. Velasco, oh, you too much subject a natural gift, and make yourself beholding for your own. The sun hath not more right to his own beams, with which he gilds the day, nor the sea lord to his own waves. Berinthia, alas, was it to own a passion without power to direct it? For I moved not by emotion I can call my own, but by a higher rapture in obedience to a father. I have yet no freedom to place affection, so you but endear me without a merit. Catalina, here's my sister, Montenegro, and Don Velasco. How now are they arrows feathered? Velasco, well enough for roving. Montenegro, roving, I thought so. Note. Velasco, well enough for roving. The rover, which was not so fully feathered as the butt shaft, was shot from a distance, compass wise, while the other went point blank to the mark. Hence to rove, or shoot with rovers, meant a distant pursuit, an uncertain hope. And thus Brome, I thought me nearer to you than that you should rove at me with courtship. Stradicles shot from afar. Lovesick court. Velasco, but I hope fair. Montenegro, shoot home then. Velasco, I have presented my mistress with a paper of verses. See, she is reading them. Velasco, didst make them thyself? Montenegro, my money did. One idle question is that, as though we that are great men are not furnished with stipendiary muses. I am sure, for my own part, I can buy them cheaper than I can make them a great deal. Would you have learning have no reward? She laughs at them. I am glad of that. Catalina, they savor of a true poetic fury. Montenegro, do you smell nothing? Something has some savor. Catalina, but this line, methinks, hath more feet than the rest. Montenegro, it should run the better for that lady. I did it on purpose. Catalina, but here's another lame. Montenegro, that was my conceit, my own invention, lame, halting verses, there's the greatest art. Besides, I thereby give you to understand that I am valiant, dare cut off legs and arms at all times, and make them go halting home that are my enemies. I am but grapher. Now it is out. Catalina, for honor's sake, what's that? Montenegro, one of the sorest versifiers that ever crept out of Parnassus. When I set on it, I can make anybody hang himself with pure iambics. I can fetch blood with Asclepiads, sting with Phalucians, whip with Sapphics, bastinado with hexameter and pentameter, and yet I have a trimeter left for thee, my Donna Catalina. Berinthia, conclude a peace, sir, with your passion. I am sorry love hath been unkind to you to point at me, who, till she, pointing to Catalina, first have knit the sacred knot of marriage, am forbid to think of love. Velasco, but I cannot desist. I am in love with everything you say. This your denial, as it comes from you, bids me still love you. Pardon, fair Berinthia. Velasco hath not power to rule himself. Be you less fair or virtuous, perhaps I may abate my service. Enter Villarezzo, Sebastiano, and Antonio. Villarezzo. All Gasper's house is honored by such guests. Now by the tomb of my progenitors, I envied that your fame should visit me. So oft without your person, Sebastiano hath been long happy in your noble friendship, and cannot but improve himself in virtues that live so near your love. Catalina, Don Antonio de Ribeiro. Sebastiano, the same. Catalina, with whole noble worth, you oft have filled discourse, thought yourself happy in his choice friendship. If his body carries so many graces, it is heaven within, where his soul is. Velasco, Sebastian, thou hast largely recompensed thy tedious absence. You shall dishonor me, unless you think yourself as welcome here as at your Elvis castle. Rezo, was once as you are sprightly, and though I say it, maintain my father's reputation and honor of our house, with actions worthy our name and family, but now time have let fall cold snow upon my hairs, plowed on my brows the furrows of his anger, just furnished me of active blood, and wrapped me half in my cerecloth. Yet I have mind that bids me honor virtue where I see fit, bud forth and spring so hopefully. Antonio, you speak all nobleness, encourage me to spend the greenness of my rising years, so to the advantage that at last I may be old like you. Lorenzo, daughter, speak his welcome. Catalina, Catalina, sir, you are most welcome. Count, how's that? She says he is most welcome. He were best not love her. She never made me such a reverence for all the kisses I have bestowed upon her since I first opened my affection. I do not like this fellow. I must be fain to use Dr. Sharkino's cunning. Velasco, it were not truly noble to affront him. My blood boils in me. It shall cool again. The place is venerable by her presence, and I may be deceived. Velasco, then keep distance with thy fears. Antonio, how now, Antonio? Where hast thou lost thyself? Struck dead with lady's eyes, I could stargaze forever thus. O pardon, love, against whom I often have profaned and mocked thy fires, the flame has punished me. Let me collect. They are both excellent creatures. There is a majesty in Catalina's eyes, and every part carries ambition of queen upon it. Yet Berinthia has something more than all this praise. Though she command the world, this hath more power over me. Here I have lost my freedom. Not the queen of love could thus have wounded poor Antonio. I'll speak to her. Lady, I am a novice yet in love. Berinthia, it may be so. Antonio, she jests at me, yet I should be proud to be your servant. Berinthia, entertain no servants that are proud. Velasco, divine Berinthia. Antonio, she checks my rudeness that so openly I seem to court her, and in presence too of some that have engaged themselves perhaps to her already. Velasco, come, let us in. My house spreads to receive you, which you may call your own. I'll lead the way. Catalina, please you walk, sir. Antonio, it will become me thus to wait on you. Exit all but not Montenegro and Velasco. Montenegro, does not the fool ride us both? Velasco, what fool? But both him? Montenegro, that fool, both us. We are but horses that may walk one another for aught I see before the door when he is alight and entered. I do not relish that same novice. He were best not gull me. Hark you, Don Velasco, what shall we do? Velasco, do why? Montenegro, this Antonio is a suitor to one of them. Velasco, I fear him not. Montenegro, I do not fear him neither. I dare fight with him, and he were 10 Antonios, but the ladies, Don the ladies, Velasco, Berinthia, to whom I pay my love, devotions in my ear, seem not to welcome him. Your lady did, Montenegro, aye, but for all that, he had most mind to your mistress. I do not see, but if he pursue it, there's a possibility to scale the fort. Ladies, minds may alter by your favor. I have less cause to fear of the two. If he love not Catalina, my game is free, and I may have a course in her park the more easily. Villarezzo. 'Tis true, he proffered services to Berinthia, and what she is then to resist the vows Antonio, if he love, dare heap upon her. He's gracious with her father, and a friend dares his bosom to Sebastiano, and may be is directed by that brother to aim at her, or if he make free choice, Berinthia's beauty will draw upon his soul. Montenegro, and yet now I think on it, he was very saucy with my love to support her arm, which she accepted too familiarly, and she should but love him. It were as bad for me, for though he care not for her, I am sure she will never abide me after it. By these hilts, I must kill him. There's no remedy. I cannot help it. Velasco, I'll know my destiny, Montenegro, and I my fate, but here he comes. Exit. Re-enter Antonio. Antonio, the strangest resolution of a father I ever heard. I was covetous to acquaint him with my wishes, prayed his leaves I might be servant to Berinthia, but thus he briefly answered, until his oldest daughter were disposed in marriage, his youngest must not love, and therefore wished me, unless I could place Catalina here, leave off soliciting it. Yet I was welcome, but fed on nothing but Berinthia, from whose fair eyes love threw 1,000 flames into Antonio's heart. Her cheeks be rain as many amorous blushings, which break out like a forced lightning from a troubled cloud, discovering a restraint, as if within she were a conflict, which her color only took liberty to speak, but soon fell back, as it were checked by silence. Montenegro, I'll stay no longer, sir, a word with you. Are you desperate? Antonio, desperate? Why, sir? Montenegro, I ask, and you be desperate. Are you weary for your life? And you be, say but the word. Somebody can tell how to dispatch you without a physician and a minute's warning. Antonio, you are the noble count in Montenegro. Montenegro, I care not a Spanish rig what you count me. I must call you to account, sir. In brief, the lady, Donna Catalina, is my mistress. I do not mean to be baffled while this toll has any still in it, and I have some metal in myself too. Antonio, the Donna Catalina, do you love her? Re-enter Lorenzo, Sebastiano, Catalina, and Berinthia. She is a lady in whom only lives nature's and art's perfection, born to shame all former beauties, and to be the wonder of all succeeding, which shall fade and wither when she is but remembered. Montenegro, I can endure no more. Diablo, he is mortally in love with Catalina. Valoreza. 'Tis so he is taken with Catalina's beauty. Montenegro, sir, I am a servant of that lady. Therefore eat up your rewards, or you shall be sensible that I am Count Montenegro, and she no dish for Don Antonio. Antonio, sir, I will do you right. Montenegro, or I will right myself. Catalina, he did direct those praises unto me. This doth confirm it. Berinthia cannot soon alter. I shall discover a passion through my eyes. Montenegro, thou shewest thyself noble gentleman. The count is now thy friend. Antonio, it does become me, sir, to prosecute where such a noble count is interested. Upon my soul, I wish the lady's yours. Here my suit falls with tender of my service. Would you were married, nay, bed together, my honourable Count. Catalina, your face is cloudy, sir. As you suspected, your presence were not welcome. Had you not by title of a brother's friendship, short enough to oblige us to you, but your worth in Catalina's eyes bids me proclaim you a double acceptation. Antonio, oh, your bounty is the lady, Montenegro, sir. Antonio, do not fear me. I am not worthy your opinion. It shall be happiness for me to kiss this ivory hand. Montenegro, the whilst I kiss her lip and be immortal. Sebastian Antonio, my father, is a rock, is that he first resolved, and I account it part of my own unhappiness. I hope you hold me not suspected, Antonio. I were unworthy such a friend. His care becomes him nobly. Has not yonder Count some hope of Catalina? Sebastian, my father thinks that sister worthy of more than a bare nobility. Note, Sebastian Antonio, my father is a rock, is that he first resolved, that is, his resolution of not marrying his younger before his eldest daughter. Antonio, I back to Elvis, noble sir, to Valorezzo. This entertainment is so much above Antonio's merit. If I leave you not, I shall be out of hope. To Valorezzo. Nay, then you mock me, sir. You must not leave me without discourtesy. So soon we trifle time. This night you are my great, my honored Count, my Don Velasquez, Montenegro. Yes, my lord will follow. Antonio, how I am resolved, like bargemen when they row, I'll look another way than that I go.